Good afternoon, bonjour, welcome. My name is Serenity, and I'm happy to introduce the presenters for today. Matthew Tilbury has been in the role of transition coordinator for 3 years now. Matthew previously taught for 4 years at Pelican Halls First Nations High School. Janice Jansen, she's a band member of Mishki-Goguming First Nation, has worked with Indigenous students in post-secondary environments for over 20 years. She has worked in various student support capacities at Confederation College and Lakehead University, and most recently in the NNEC Post-Secondary Student Support Program. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. I'm Matthew.
And I'm Janice. Nice to be here.
And now we'll get our presentation loaded up. So thank you for tuning in. We work with Dennis Franklin Cromartie High School, Pelican Falls First Nations High School, and WASA Distance Education, and we'll be going over our NNEC Transitions program. So we'll jump right in. We're going to begin with what we would do in a typical school year, kind of pre-pandemic. So we would definitely be traveling to the communities. We would arrange for travel opportunities with the social counselors, ed directors, or principals within the communities. Our purpose for going up there would be to engage with the grade 8, grade 9, or grade 10 students who could potentially be coming to DFC or Pelican the following year. So what we would do is we would try to get the parents invited, get the word spread around the community of the date that we would be going up. So we would do a presentation to 10 class and highlight the programming that we offer at DFC and Pelican. We would communicate different types of academic information, such as the high school credit system. We'd provide examples of our timetables, and the different streams of courses that we offer. We would also explain what WASA distance education is and offer that as an option for students. We would be handing out high school resources. We would probably do some prize draws for school swag, and it would just be a great time to interact with those potential students.
And another reason and another purpose that we have for traveling to the communities is to connect with everyone involved in the students leaving the community to attend high school. So we do like to foster relationships and develop them with the potential students, of course, and the parents, the social counselors, the education directors, because we know and we realize that this is a major step for the student to take, to leave their home community and attend high school. So we want to support that, and we want to support the efforts in the community as well, because we know that they do a lot in the setup as well, and wanting the best for those students when they leave the communities. And of course, it helps for the student to have a point of reference. When they come to the high school, they have already met a staff member, so that can help reduce a little bit of some of the nervousness around that.
We're also involved in intake meetings for both DFC and Pelican. These happen a number of times a year, usually before each semester begins. So we participate in these meetings with the tribal councils to go over new student applications and returning student applications. And we feel that we can be an asset in these meetings, as we have hopefully met quite a few students in the communities before they come out, and we work with both schools.
And of course, when the students come out, we like to meet with them and work with them. There's a lot of energy, a lot of excitement involved on our part as well as the students. So we like to have ongoing orientation efforts, such as providing them with tours of the school, the tours in the city, helping them with necessities internally within the school. We like to highlight places in the city where they might enjoy. And we also like to emphasize safety when they're here. So we will take them on tours to show them where there are the unsafe places in the city are. And we work with the Pelican Falls students as well. A trip to Sioux Lookout is taken early within that first week of school. And of course, giving them relevant information about the DFC's Code of Conduct, as well as a presentation from the Thunder Bay Police Service's Indigenous Liaison Unit is very important. They provide a lot of great information for the students. And we have regular check-ins with the students. So this is ongoing throughout the year, but it serves a purpose as well as an early intervention strategy. So just checking in with them, touching base with them, it helps to determine if they need some supports that we can refer them to within the school or without the outside of the school. So we like to have those check-ins.
So bus passes, the students that come to Dennis Franklin Cromartie High School, they will be utilizing the bus system. This is their main method of transportation. So therefore, we need to ensure that all of the students have a full-time bus pass, and we provide them with that. So the way that we do this is we take photos of the students when they arrive. We'll take care of sending those photos to the transit department so they can process the bus passes. We'll then go to the city transit station, we'll pick up the bus passes, and we'll deliver them to the individual students. Sometimes throughout the year, students may lose their bus pass. So we'll definitely be in contact with them and make sure that we go and have a reprint made. And then at times, students may have attendance issues. So with the help of administration, we will meet with those students and maybe place them on an individual bus ticket system until their attendance improves once again. So not only providing the bus pass is an important part, but making sure that the students know how to use the city transit and navigate the different bus routes. So this is a particular priority when we have new students. We can utilize technology such as Google Maps to help them find which bus route they need to take. We also meet with students after school, especially the brand new ones who are unfamiliar with the transit system. We'll meet with them and we'll actually ride the bus to school to their boarding home with them, just to make sure that they're comfortable, that they're taking the right bus route. And then oftentimes a student will want to know how to get from the boarding home in the morning to the school. So we've also made arrangements where we can meet them at the boarding home and again, ride the bus with them to school until they're comfortable to do so on their own.
And we like to keep connected with the parents. We realize that they're impacted as well when their child leaves home to attend high school in a bigger community, a larger city. So we want to keep in touch with them. It serves a twofold purpose when we communicate with them. We just keep them updated on how their student is doing, as well as getting some information from them on what their child might be interested in terms of extracurricular activities. So we like to keep that dialogue open with them.
So closer to the beginning of the school year, we run the Wake the Giant orientation. Now some colleagues of ours started this initiative. It kind of began with the sign project. So that was reaching out to businesses within the city of Thunder Bay and having them display the Wake the Giant logo in their storefront. And what that would signify is that they are a welcoming place for Indigenous people and Indigenous youth attending school in the city. Now, we're particularly involved in the Amazing Race and the DFC experience parts of the orientation. So I'll go over those a little bit. So at the beginning of the year, we do this orientation where we would reach out to the communities and see if they would be interested in bringing their grade 8 students, or if they go up to grade 9 and 10, bringing them to the city to partake in this orientation. So day one would be the Amazing Race. We would have already reached out to a number of different businesses and organizations within the city of Thunder Bay to participate in this event. And they would have some sort of challenge ready for groups of students. So we would begin the day with every student and staff in the gym. We would have the students organized into teams. There would be staff members placed on each team. So there's an adult supervisor. And we would also have these community visitors involved in these teams as well. Each team would get a report where it would have a list of the different organizations that they would be visiting throughout the day. And they would utilize public transit to race around town, visit these different organizations, complete the challenge that awaits them. The organization would give their passport a stamp saying that they completed that section, and then they would be off to the next one. So we feel this is a great way to introduce students to the public transit system, to get them involved in some team building, to become familiar with different organizations around town. Last of a day. So the next part of the orientation would usually be on the following day, and it's called the DFC experience. So again, we would have reached out to a number of businesses and organizations within the city. This time they would come to DFC and they would host a workshop in their respective field. We've had Lakehead University athletes come. We've had Nietzsche Studios, a number of different organizations come to do these really fun workshops. Again, the groups of students would participate in these, have a chance to have some fun, meet some new people that they might not otherwise meet. And again, it's a really fun day for the kids. And then this was all capped off by the Wake the Giant Music Festival at Marina Park. There were a number of acts that performed, and every student that took part in the orientation got themselves a Wake the Giant t-shirt, which also acted as free admission into the music festival. So really fun. Here's a photo of some of our staff and students putting up those Wake the Giant logos in the storefronts. Here's a few of us at the music festival. There he is, the King of the North, performing. And then there's a really nice photo of the crowd and the stage at the music festival.
I just want to add a comment. I worked in the post-secondary department within NNEC, and we had, for the past few years, groups of DFC high school students coming through on the bus through the Amazing Race. They just kind of run in and then do the activity that we've set up for them, and they leave because they're really excited about getting to their next destination. So it really is a lot of fun, and we enjoyed having them come in to the office to experience that. Okay, so normally in a year where we are not online, we would work with the potential graduates in person. So we would provide a lot of opportunities to the potential grads to explore pathways on what they might want to do after high school, whether it would be partaking in the workforce or entering into post-secondary programs. So we offer a lot of options for them. And even working one-on-one individually, we would assist in a lot of areas. We would offer tours of Confederation College and Lakehead University. We would explore the programs, post-secondary programs with them, offer information sessions, workshops, all different kinds of different initiatives to provide them with as much information and preparation before they leave high school. And we do have great working relationships with the staff at Confederation College and the Indigenous student supports, as well as Lakehead University. And we're currently working with other institutions as well, Oshki and some out of province, and within the province, we're developing relationships there as well.
So we do work with a variety of staff in our schools just to see if there's any supports, resources, or services that would be beneficial to individual students. We work closely with our guidance counselors. We've helped develop course selection sheets, and of course, working with our potential grads throughout the year. We'll of course get direction from administration on different tasks. We have regular communication with our teachers just to see how students are doing, and again, if they could use any of our supports. We'll assist with our special education resource teachers in engaging with some of our high needs students, and also if they need any additional support from us. We do have a variety of new support positions within our schools, so we also work closely with them on some projects. And then we're in regular communication with our NNEC post-secondary department, especially closer to the end of the year, to make sure that the transition of our grade 12 students is going smoothly and that they have a chance to connect with the post-secondary department before they graduate. I really wanted to touch on our peer mentorship program that we run at both DFC and Pelican. So I'll try to break it down as best as I can, but usually at the beginning of the year, we will meet with our potential graduates and we'll see if they're interested in becoming a peer mentor. And then we'll also meet separately with our new students in grade 9s, and we'll encourage them to participate in this program as well, but as a mentee. So basically how this works is some of the staff involved in the program will set up groups. Usually we have 2 mentors per group and roughly 5 mentees or new students. So us staff will meet with the mentors beforehand, and we will kind of show them how to facilitate different fun activities. We'll go through a trial run of these activities, and then we'll help the mentors organize a group session with their mentorship group. And then the mentors will facilitate these fun activities within their group. And we feel that this really develops some stronger leadership skills for those mentors. And it gives the mentees a chance to participate in some fun activities and maybe meet some students that they wouldn't have met otherwise. And the mentors are also there outside of these mentorship activities, just to support the new students, you know, be a friendly face in the hallways. And we encourage the new students to approach their peer mentor if they have any questions or need any additional support from a peer. And this pretty much happens throughout the year whenever we can fit it into the school schedule.
Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about the transition to online learning and how we have adapted and adjusted in the midst of a global pandemic. So it's been a huge challenge, I'm sure, for a lot of people, and but we did some innovative things here. So Matthew's going to speak to those.
Yeah, so with the big switch up in our learning model, moving to online learning, it's become quite important to manage our online learning platform, which is the Google Suite. So we've become G Suite administrators this year. So it's our responsibility to create the new student accounts. We need to communicate their login information to them along with the parents. We've been adding students to specific email distribution lists to make communication a little smoother. And then if students maybe forget their login information, we can go in, reset the password, and then communicate that information back to the students. Another thing that's become increasingly important this year is getting supplies delivered to the students. So at the beginning of the year, we got a huge order of Chromebooks. So we configured all of the DFC Chromebooks so that they were ready for students to log in. We were able to deliver these Chromebooks to all of the local students in Thunder Bay. And then we also were able to ship them up to the northern communities and be in contact with some community members so that they could pick them up and get them to the individual students. We also needed to deliver some other supplies, such as gym equipment. We sent up some art materials, and closer to the beginning of the year, we sent up some DFC backpacks that were loaded up with some supplies that we thought would be useful for the students as they worked from home.
So Google Classrooms were created for the DFC students and the Pelican Falls students. So this platform, of course, is used to connect with the students, providing information up front as the students switched to online learning. They needed to learn how to navigate the system. So I'm going to brag about Matthew. He created these online learning tutorial videos with a couple of staff members. So, and also some instruction sheets so that they had some written form to written documentation to refer to, as well as the videos. So Matthew's going to show one example of what he created.
Okay, I'm hoping the sound works for you guys, but I'll play one of the videos that we created.
I can't hear it.
So there was just one example of the videos that we created to help students get used to their online platform, help them get logged in, and get started with the year.
Yes, and 13 of these little bite-sized videos were created. So they were 45 seconds or less. So it wasn't something that was too long, and it really hit exactly what they needed to know and how to use the platform.
We did try to add a little bit of humor just to keep the students engaged. Some of them maybe we thought were funnier than they actually were.
And here's an example of the infographics. So you see one for Pelican Falls and one for DFC, and with some instructions on them on exactly what they need to do, the steps they need to take, and what the symbols mean. So it was well done.
Yeah, and we were able to post these to our social media pages as well, just in case the students actually weren't able to log into their Google accounts. We hoped that they could visit our social media pages and still get these instructions to successfully log into the platform. So we also created a Google Classroom for the entire student body of both DFC and Pelican. We titled them Introduction to Online Learning. So this is where we invited every single student at each respective school, and we had a lot of this information stored within the Google Classroom. So the students could access it whenever they'd like. We also used it for a few other reasons. Throughout the year, we had some online activities posted within these classrooms. They weren't related to the students' courses. They were just kind of fun activities that the students could partake in, hopefully stay a little more connected, and share a little bit about themselves and what they might be doing in the communities. And typically we would offer a prize draw for the participating students just to try to get more submissions from the kids. We also ended up using these classrooms for tutoring sessions after class hours. So throughout the year, certain staff have logged in after hours, and we would communicate to students that they could click on the Google Meet link within these Google Classrooms, and there would be someone there to help them out with their work after class. And then it's just a great portal to have updates on that all students can access. Like I said, we would post the tutoring session dates and times in there. We offered a digital career fair a little bit earlier on that we gave the students the link to. So we thought it was a good means of communication to reach all of the students.
Okay, and so we have been working with our potential grads and offering them workshops through Google Meet. So far, we've presented 4 workshops to our potential grads. So the first one, just exploring options. Maybe they want to think about post-secondary or the workforce, or maybe another year in high school, also known as the Victory Lap. So that was the first presentation. The second one we offered was a thorough exploration of the NNEC Post-Secondary Student Support Program. So providing that for the students who weren't able to participate or attend, we made these available to them through their sending the links out in emails to them. We also provided a workshop on a student living on their own as a college student, with an emphasis on the financial aspect. So budgeting and working with the income that they get and the living allowance that they receive from the Post-Secondary Student Support Program. And also one on life as a college student, as far as academics and the differences between high school and post-secondary. So we know there are some significant differences, and we want students to be as aware and prepared as possible before they move on into whatever pathway they choose after high school. And we are offering tomorrow, we're going to send out a recess workshop. So we've provided some fun activities for them as well to think about and submit after the March break.
So in a normal year, we would be able to work side by side our potential grads to help them with their college applications. This is normally done through Ontario colleges, but with the students being away from us, we tried to get a little bit creative, and we were able to create a few short videos on how students can apply to Ontario colleges. And this was done in 4 smaller sections. We were able to use screen sharing technology to kind of apply on our own and show students exactly what they would need to do to complete their applications. And then we've also started some information sessions to potential students in the community. So these are virtual presentations via Google Meet to grade 8, or if the community goes up to grade 9 and 10 students. So it kind of replaces our typical travel that we would do. we're still able to engage with the students via Google Meet, and we can still do our presentations on DFC and Pelican's programming. And then we can take any questions from the students or the teachers that they may have and try to clarify anything that they want to know about the schools. And we are still planning some more initiatives before the end of the school year here. We definitely plan to connect with more communities to do these virtual presentations to their potential students that might be coming out. And we do want to develop a video of the DFC school itself. We're hoping that we can create a 360 video, which will be more interactive, and the students can have a bit of a sneak peek at the school facilities. They can become a little bit more familiar with the shop classes, the culinary room, the gyms, just all the different areas that we have in the school. We kind of want them to get a glance at before they come out.
And we've already scheduled a workshop from the Indigenous Student Navigators of Confederation College. They will be presenting through Google Meet as well. Leona Scanlon of the Postsecondary Student Support Program will be joining them as well. So that's in the works, as well as, of course, graduation is coming up. So we sit on the grad committee and are looking forward to working with the potential grads and the staff to make this year's virtual graduation ceremony a huge success. So we're pretty excited about that.
And that's kind of the basis of our programming. Thanks for tuning in, and we can take any questions you guys may have.
I have 3 questions for you. Number 1, what is the challenge that you faced with learning remotely?
Yeah, so there definitely have been some challenges working in a brand new environment this year. Adjusting to online learning was a bit of a challenge at the beginning, but it seems like most of us are getting used to it by now. Of course, the travel restrictions in a normal year, we really look forward to traveling to the communities, but that's definitely not so safe right now. So again, we've tried to be creative with connecting with the communities virtually. And then at times, those supply deliveries have been a challenge. There's quite a few steps to get them from point A to point B. It's a bit of a process to pack up all the supplies, properly label them so they make it to the community, connecting with those community folks so they can get it from the airport and deliver it to the individual students. And then at times, you know, some people have been in isolation or the weather have been bad. So there have been a few delays from time to time. But overall, we've been able to get those supplies to the students.
My second question is, what has been successful with students learning remotely?
Well, I think there's been a few successes for sure. I think at the beginning of the year, we were able to get those Chromebooks up in a pretty good timely manner. We also had a lot of these materials and resources already prepared for the students so that they could, you know, get direction on how to log in, how to get started in this brand new environment. So that I think that was quite successful.
My last question would be, can you take anything from the remote learning initiatives and apply them when students return to class learning?
Yes, I think we can. I know a regular year is quite different, but now that students and staff are a lot more comfortable with some of these online learning platforms, I think we can continue to implement those even when students do return. Things like having a Google Classroom set up for the whole student body, I think is a really good way to give everybody updates and allow students to access that information even after they go home from a regular school day. And then I think even in particular, the peer mentorship program, use the Google Classroom platform for that as well. So groups can, you know, stay a little more organized, receive updates from staff, and just communicate in that digital platform.
Well, thank you for answering my questions. I want to thank you, Matthew and Janice, for an awesome information for everybody that is watching.